מסכת בבא קמא, שבוע טוב. Maseches Bava Kama, absolutely true. Daf Pei Ches Amud Beis in the wide lines. The last narrow line, actually, we definitely have to do, after a long weekend, we have to do a chazara of what we're talking about. And the story is as follows. First of all, the Shiur is L'ilui Nishmas of Imoiri Menachem Ben Akiva, Refuas, Noch Lionel Ben Ili Orial, Refuas, Tzarach Hanolad Ben Tomo, Refuas, Shmuel Avon Ben Yudis Bas Rivka, Sora Bas Chama. Zoch Shachol Yisrael. So what did we say at the beginning of the Amud? We said like this. There was a story of a lady. She was married to Rababa, and she was the mother of Rababa's son. So maybe it's a father and son. And she basically wrote off her nichsey, miloog to her son. Her son is not her heir. No, he's like a stranger for that, for this intents and purpose. Now she said, after my ptira, I'm giving you the goof. The goof meaning the actual body of the karka is mine. My husband is the one who reaps the benefit, so to speak, with all the limitations we spoke about. I own the goof because I'm the woman. My husband owns the payros, the fruit, the benefit, the rent, the money, the profit, and he's owner of the payros. And therefore, I want you to own the goof, my dear son. And therefore, after I'm nifter, after I 120, then 120, you're going to actualize your goof, and it will become a whole thing with payros also. Yeah, that's l'chorah what we say. Comes the Gemara and brings an argument. The one who supported the son was Rabbi Yirmiyah bar Abba, and he said, yes, the son's the owner, because she can sell, she's able to sell the goof. The goof is a goof, the paris is paris, and yandikt. Now, then he had reviewed the quoted Shmuel, who said, no. Shmuel said a woman cannot sell her nichsey miloog. A woman cannot sell the goof that she has. Why? Because we think at this point that the machloekes is kinyan paris to kinyan a goof dami or lo, which means since the husband is the owner of the paris is what's practical, paris practical. The practical use of the land is the paris goes to the husband in this case, right? And therefore, says the question is, do we say that because the husband has the paris of the land, is that like clamping down on her rights and kicking in her goof dami? It's considered as if he has part of the goof also, and therefore that impedes her from selling. Yes or no? That's a question. Rav Nachman, B'Shem, Rav Yehuda, I keep forgetting the name. It's Rabbi Yirmiyah bar Abba. I don't know if I forget the name all the time. Rabbi Yirmiyah bar Abba is the one who says that yes, she can sell. She has independence selling it, and Shmuel said no. Well, Rabbi Yirmiyah bar Abba now seems to be in the winning side. Why? Because we had a very similar case with a Mishnah with the machlokas Rabbi Yochanan and Rish Lakish. Surprisingly, halacha was like Rish Lakish in that Mishnah. What did this Mishnah speak about? We're all doing chazor now. The Mishnah spoke about a father who told his son, I want you to be my heir after 120. Yeah, well, I would say anyhow is the heir. That's a question we'll see later. And therefore, you know what I'm going to do? I want to give you the goof now. This is now 20 years before my death. Is a novi. I'm not dead yet. And now you'll be the owner of the goof, but I still need to live from something. I'm maintaining the payros. I reap the benefit of the rent of the apartment every month, chodesh b'chodshoi, and you are the owner of the goof now. But after I'm nifter, after my passing away, you'll be the sole exclusive owner of the goof, which you already have, plus the payros. And after my ptira, the month I'm nifter, you're gonna get to your bank account all the payros. This is all very nice. What happened if the son was nifter before the father? Oops, things worked the wrong way around. The son was nifter before the father. It was a car accident, lo aleinu, crashed, and now the son died first. Then what happens? Then says Rabbi Rish Lakish says, doesn't make a difference. The buyer of the son, the customer of the son, still is considered now to be the owner. The son never owned it. So what? But the son owned the goof when he was alive. Yes. Before the car crash, did the son own the goof? Yes. Is owning the goof considered to be good ownership that it can sell on? Yes. says Rish Lakish, and halacha is like Rish Lakish. And therefore, in this case also, the woman is independent of her husband regarding the goof. She is able to sell the goof, and therefore her son, who happens to be her customer now, should be now the owner of the goof, and probably, as the Rav said, probably the Paris as well, after the Petira. Rabbi Yochanan thinks otherwise, but Rabbi Yochanan says no. Rabbi Yochanan says, Paris checking in a goof, that owning the Paris, the husband or the father or whoever owns the Paris is like, he has like 1 foot through the door in the karka, and he can stop the other person from selling, but we don't hold it Rabbi Yochanan for change. It's one of the 3 cases in the entire Shas where we don't hold it Rabbi Yochanan. So now Rav Yehuda, quoting Shmuel, is stuck big time. And now Rav Yehuda is going to give us a good answer, of course. Let's see. Adru Kamed Rav Yehuda. We're in the last narrow line of Babakana Beiches Amud Beis. Yeah. Baruch Hashem Siyata Dishmaya. Adru Kamed Rav Yehuda. They brought it back to Rav Yehuda and they asked him, "What do you say, Rav Yehuda? The Mishnah with Rish Lakish seem to be against you." He told them, "Achi Amar Shmuel. This is what Shmuel says. Zu eina dom el Mishnah seinu. That case over there, the father and the son, is not similar to our case of the husband and wife. Why? My time. Why isn't it similar? Amar Rav Yosef, says Rav Yosef as follows: Bishlama itani ipcha. If the Mishnah would have told me the other way around, what do you mean the other way around? A koisem nechosov leoviv. Let's say it would be the other way around. Let's say a son would come to his father and say, "Daddy, after I am nifter, yeah, I want you to what? I'm giving you now the goof. Me, the son. The son owns everything. The son is the rich guy over here. The son owns everything. He wants us to give him autonomy to his father. And he says, I retain my rights for payros. I'm going to reap the benefit every month from the apartment. But you, the father, you have the rights, the ownership of the goof. And let's say the same machlokes would apply that way. The same Rabbi Yochanan and Rish Lakish, and Rish Lakish would say that if the father sold something to a client, yeah, and then the father died before the son, which usually happens, yeah, then the client is the owner, meaning the father, as the owner of the goof, is the real owner that can sell it on. Then then it could have really derived from there. Then I would have agreed with you that Kinyan Paris does not affect or impact the Kinyan Guf. The Guf is a separate entity and you can sell it. Ela hashta. Soon you'll understand what's the trick over here. But now, hashta is now. When a father sells something to his son, listen carefully, who will anyhow inherit him. He's anyhow going to inherit him. Let's assume for now that he's an only son, for the matter. Let's say I have one father, one son. Yeah, no Holy Spirit. Father and son, okay? And then what? The father writes to the son, why exactly is he writing him a neches for after Ptira? After the Ptira, the son's going to be the heir anyways. So why did he make this whole extra business, this whole extra kinyan? Because he's suitable anyway to yarshan him. So I'm still asking the question. He's meant to yarshan him, right? Eventually he'll inherit him. So you know why the father now, who wrote his son the neches and told the son, listen, my dear boychik, I'm giving you now what am I giving you? I'm giving you the goof, and I maintain the payros. Listen carefully, if the only nafkamina is, I'm giving you the goof now because I want you eventually, the second I close my eyes, after 120, I want you to be able to be the owner of everything. The goof will yield payros, and you'll get the rent. What? He's anyhow going to get it. Who needs to do this whole business? This entails going to a lawyer, making all things. What for? What for? It's going to happen anyways. Yeah. Elamai must be that there's red herring here. There's some kind of extra thing he wants to have here. What's this extra thing? Must be if the father wrote to the son, I want you to be the owner, he doesn't mean only for the Paris la'achar misa. He wants him to be the owner now of the goof and have full ownership. Which means, let me repeat, when a person is not a yoresh, for example, where a person is not a yoresh? In our story, in the case of, that's what I kept telling you 100 times, the son of the mother of the wife of Rabbi Abba, he was not her Yoirish. He's like a stranger in this story. In that case, really, when a person wants to sell his goof and he's the owner of the goof only and not the Paris, he may not be able to sell. He may not be able to sell the goof. Who are you to sell the goof? You're only a goof owner. That's not enough. Oh, you're attacking me from the story of who? Of the father and the son? Mapitom. Over there, the father and the son, for sure, the meaning of the father there was to relinquish his rights over everything of the goof, be independent, and get the goof completely wrapped up in cellophane, get the entire goof to do whatever you want now. Because if the nafkamina is only nachar ptira, the whole thing is stupid and redundant. Because anyhow, the son's going to get it. So therefore, because over there, imagine yourself that everyone has the right to get from the government. This is not science fiction. A 500 shekels a month for children's allowance, yeah. And then the government gives you an extra thing. You get a post and a letter because you're a good citizen. You get 500 shekels. Is that 1,000 altogether? Of course. The regular 500 anyhow get. If the government says special price for you 500, they mean extra 5. I expect the next month to get 1,000. That's exactly what's going on over here. If the father tells his son, I'm giving you a matan, what's a big matana? If the only enough community is that after the father is dead, then the son's going to get that anything's going to happen. So must be the father's adding a layer of kinyan now. We want kinyan now. He wants the kinyan right now. What? In order to get a full ownership of the goof. But otherwise, if the person is not a Yerush, I don't know if that means full ownership of the goof. Therefore, says Rabbi Yehuda, quoting Shmuel, no. In the case of the woman with the son is not a Yerush. And therefore, over there, I don't know if a woman has the right to sell the goof to somebody else. Not necessarily so. One story does not reflect on the other. Although that's going to be refuted very quickly now. Good? No, it's not hers. Something that's not yours, you can't give matana. We spoke about it with Jeffrey Bell on Thursday, and maybe you're not here. When a person is not a full owner or owner enough, whatever, he cannot sell, cannot give with money, without money, he cannot be mekadesh a woman, he cannot be makdish, and he cannot play ball with it either. It's just not hers. Goof means it's not hers. Tzvi asks, so what's the whole business of these women's rights over here? And I answered, she can stop him from selling, and after his nifta, she gets everything, and he cannot paint it black because she doesn't like black. She's an owner of the goof. Yeah, she's an owner of the goof, but it's not active ownership to do anything with, according to Rabbi Yochanan and his supporters. You don't pass the nefesh. Okay? No difference, money or not money. It's just not yours. If this is not yours, you can give it b'matana, either gift or with money.
If you hold that the owner or
yeah, of the goof. Yeah, good. Okay, weiter. The Gemara now rejects it, and the Gemara says, Amar le'Abaye, fourth wide line. Amar le'Abaye, atu bro yoris abba lo yoris bro. Says Abaye, what are you telling me? If the Mishnah would have chosen to have written what? The wrong way around, that the son gave the father, then it would have agreed. Says Abaye, that's not true. The father also inherits the son. It's true, it's not so common. Baruch Hashem, usually children die after the parents die first. But conceptually, what you're telling me, had it been the wrong way around, it would have been good. With your logic, that the idea is Yerusha, then still, you would have still been stuck, even if the Mishnah would have said that the son wrote it to the father. Because Lamaisa, the father is also Yerush to the son. So why is the son writing something to his father if the father is a Yerush? You're going to answer, of course, because normally the children of the owner, of the son, are the ones who are going to inherit, and he wants to stop his children from inheriting. He doesn't like his children. I don't know what they are. He doesn't want them. He only wants that his father should inherit. Okay, continues the Gemara. Good. Ella, nichsey. You understand that if it's a son who wants to write it to his father, it only takes effect le'achar misa, not now. You're asking me, is it going to get it anyways? What's this 500 shekels from the government? I anyhow get it? No, it's not something automatic. Usually, a father dies before the children, right? This son has a father and has children. He wants to chase away, to avoid, to take away the nechosim from his children. He knows that the children inherit first, then the father. He wants the children to be out of the story. That's why I wrote the father. But it's not from now, Michaim. He wants to write it la'achar misa. There is enough kamina la'achar misa. Not the children will get, but the father. You're telling me, what, la'achar misa? There's not enough kamina anyways. The only enough kamina is to get the goof now. No, there is enough kamina, huge enough kamina, that instead of my children getting it, my father will get it. Ochonami here too, in the regular classical case, the Mishnah chose to spoke about, which is the father writing to the son, Lavruchinu nichsey me'achuha osi. Here we're talking, it's not a single son, it's not an only son. It's not an only son. We're talking here about a son from Mer Sharim, and they have 14 children. But the father prefers and he favors only one son, only little Yankele. And he tells little Yankele, you have 13 brothers, but I am writing you the neches now in order that the neches should have you should have the goof now. And right now there's no nafkamina for you. Because why? Because kin and a goof, kin and Paris dami. Kin Paris kin and a goof dami. Right now, no, like Rabbi Yochanan, which you could hold by, right? Okay, we could say that. And Rosh Lakish argues, what's enough kamina? What's the son gaining? He's gaining a lot. That after the ptira, the only one who will get the field with the Paris, with the pitchkalach, with the pitchevkes, will be only Yankele, and nobody else will get it. Which means, let's summarize. I know it can get confusing. Lamaisi, we're back to square one. We're still asking the same question. We attempted to give an answer to Rabbi Yehuda and Shmuel. We failed, which means we still are in the same question. Why are you telling me, Rabbi Yehuda and Shmuel, that the mother who sold, it's not called a sale, it's not called nothing, because she's only the owner of the goof, and owning the goof is almost garnished. It's not something you have in your hands to give or to sell or mekadesh or jump around with. It's not really yours. That's what you're telling me, that her sale was invalid. Not true. We happen to pass in like Rish Lakish. Good morning, everybody. We all believe in this case, like Rish Lakish, that what? That the father, son, father, whoever, Holy Ghost, whoever sells over here, whoever is the owner of the goof, regardless of Yerusha, the only idea of giving goof now, according to Rish Lakish, is you can sell the goof now. Yes, you may sell the goof now, says Rish Lakish. And if you sold the goof and you died before it materialized, the sale is a good sale. Because when you, the guy who died earlier, when you were alive, when you owned the goof, it was real ownership that really was passed on to someone else. Question mark on Rav Yehuda and on Shmuel. Finally, we come to an answer, a very easy answer. Here comes a super easy answer. Here it gets much easier. Very, very simple. Ella, my Rav Yehuda, defending himself, said a statement, a line. He said, that case over there, the father and the son, is not similar to our Mishnah of the mother and the son and the husband. Why not? Mishum takonas usha, mazel tov, takonas chachomim. You know, in Usha, Beis Din went to Usha. That was one of the stops, so to speak, one of the sojourns of Beis Din after Beis Hamikdash Hasheni was destroyed. Right? They went to Yavne, Usha, Shfaram, Tveria. So Usha was a place of Beis Din, and in Usha they made many takonas. I don't like the word decree; it's not a nice word. They made they established a good thing called the takana, a law, a rabbinical law of Usha. What's the takana of Usha? The Omer Rabbi Yossi bar Chanina. The Usha hitkinu. In Usha they made a takana. Very simple takana. Ha'isha shemocher b'nichsey miloog. A woman that sold her nichsey miloog while alive. B'chayei baila. Well, the husband was alive, which is exactly our case to the T. Umeisa, she died first. Now the Lakoach, beat her son, beat her grandma. Whoever the Lakoach is comes and says, I bought it. She was alive. I bought it. And, let's stop here. And the Lakoach, Me'ikr Hadin, should be right because she is the owner of the goof. We pass it like Rish Lakish. Owning the goof is a real thing. Upa, came to Konos Chachomim. Abal Moitzi Miad Lakuchois. The husband can take away from the Lakuchois. I want you to read Rashi with me word for word to see the Geonis of Chazal, the very last Rashi in the page. Very last Rashi in the page, Peches Amud Beis. The Usha Kinu, says Rashi, the Afal Gav the Be'alma, although usually, normally, Lav Kikin and a goof dami, although usually when you own a goof, it's real ownership, and the owner of the Paris cannot stop you doing whatever you want, and that's if you're a man or any other setup. Baal benichsey ishtoi, comes the husband in his wife's property. Almuha Rabbanon l'shabude. Rabbanon made his shibud, his partial ownership of the Paris, They made it stronger. Mishum Eva, because we don't want the husband to hate his wife. Eva is, no, hate is not a nice word in modern English. Resentment. Okay, fine. Resentment. We want to avoid resentment from the side of the husband. The husband says, I'm working myself off every day. I go to wherever, city of London, and go to Manhattan and go to Tel Aviv to work very hard. She has a nichsey miloog, and now she's behind my back. She's pulling the rug without me knowing. She's sort of like cheating, you know. She's now selling the nichsey miloog to somebody else. I'm not going to inherit it. I don't like it at all. So says the husband, and chachamim are sensitive to that feeling of the husband. We don't want him to hate his wife. In his Rashi, Vavi kilokeach rishon. He's like a lokeach rishon, which means we always look at the husband as if he's the first customer, the first one to stand in the queue. You know, queue is right. Yeah, he's the first one to stand in the line. He's the first one. So very good. So everything is beautiful. Everything's so easy, so easy, so easy, so easy. When it comes to men and this and that, everything else, all other sets up and partners are women with another partner. Loch patli, kinyan Paris, love kikin in a group. If you own the Paris, let's say Ellen and I buy a 10 million apartment, yeah, right, very nice together, and you are the owner of the goof, and I'm the owner of the cash, if you don't mind. I cash every time, but you're the owner of the goof. I can't paint without telling you. So now you are allowed to sell the goof to somebody else. Yes, I am the owner of the Paris, so what? It's two independent things. Remember my marshal from last week? It's not a tree that has its roots in the ground. It's like a cup over the table. No kesher. And therefore, he's like, so why over it's different? Special takono. Chachamim as opposed to modern feminism, which is stupid. They want to avoid mechlokas between husband and wife. They understand that both genders want to feel good. And therefore, Chachamim said, the husband should also feel like he has a real thing in the karka. And therefore, they said a woman cannot pull the rug under his feet behind his back and sell her goof to somebody else. And therefore, after the ptira, if the husband outlived her, the husband will be the one cashing in, and the husband will be the owner of both goofy and payrosi. That's the maskona. All beautiful. So everyone's right, meaning not everyone's right, which means Rabbi Yirmiyah bar Abba was not right. Rabbi Yirmiyah bar Abba would have been right, Mikra Adin. He was logical, but he wasn't right. Why? Takona Susha. Chacham made a special takana to work against a regular rule. Takana is exception to the rule. Husband and wife, exception to the rule. We want the husband to have rights, so he doesn't have the resentment, the eva, and therefore we say that she cannot sell the goof to somebody else, and if she died first, the husband will still maintain that piece of land. Okay? That's the Takonas Usha. And we're going to prove it now. Okay? You can ask now. Weiter. Omar Avidi Barabin. Avidi Barabin says, Afana namitnina. I'll show you also a brisa that supports the idea of the Konasusha. I'm going to prove to you the Konasusha that says what? That a woman may not sell her nichsey miloog. The Konasusha is a woman is not allowed to sell a nichsey miloog if the husband is the owner of the Paris, which is nichsey miloog. A woman cannot sell that. I'll prove it to you. And now we're going back to good friends, Edim Zoimimim, not such good friends. Me'idim anu beish ploini. Now the Edim Zoimimim come, who very juicy edus. You know this couple who live down the road as married couple? You think they're married? Me'idim anu beish ploini. We are made that, you know, Rosh Chodesh Kislev. We saw that this ish ploini, that ploini guy, Shigiras is ishtoy, he divorced his wife, v'nosan ksuboso. We know that on Rosh Chodesh Kislev, the same day, what did he do? He divorced her, gave her a jet, yeah, and what? And also gave her the ksuba. She had a nice fat ksuba. He gave her on the same day a check or ksuba, a bank transfer of a ksuba, and we know that was done. So we know for sure. We saw it for Chodesh Kislev. The harei he tachto v'mishamashto, and you know, and they live together like a married couple. V'mishamashto, they're having relations. In other words, this couple are really married. No, they're not really married. You think they're no, they're not married. You think they're married? They're not married. Comes the Edim and say to Beis Din, they are living in China, living in sin, and what? And sin instead. So now, what really do they want? The nafkamina for money. Forget about the sinius issues. What exactly is the money issue now? They're claiming that she got her ksuba already. Forget about everything else. Let's just talk about money, money, money. What's the only thing that they're coming to say now? That this lady is a woman who got her ksuba already. She already has her ksuba in her pocket, in her own bank account. Okay, that's what they want to say. This woman does not deserve ksuba. That's basically what they're saying in one line. This woman is not ksuba material. She got already the ksuba. All of a sudden, other Edim come and they say, what? You're saying Rosh Chodesh Kislev here in Yerushalayim, you saw them getting divorced, getting the ksuba. On Rosh Chodesh Kislev, you were in Kiev. That's a nice place to be. You're in Kiev on Rosh Chodesh Kislev with us, Kislev, Kiev, and therefore you zomimim. Aha. So now, really, what really should they pay her? We all know Edim Zomimim. What are they supposed to do? Whichever loss. We're talking about money now. Forget about everything else. Whichever monetary loss they wanted to cause X, Prince Abela, now they're supposed to pay her. How much exactly should they pay her? Says Rashi, I'm not reading it inside because we're a bit short in time. Lamaisa, if this woman was really divorced, let's say we knew that the woman was really divorced by kosher Edim, and the only issue is ksuba, then we say they have to pay her the entire ksuba. Because if she's really divorced and she's deserving of ksuba, let's say the divorce was not her fault. She was tsanua, she was good. The divorce is not her fault. She gets a ksuba, right? And now if it was real divorce and the issue is yes or no ksuba, and aligned that she got the ksuba, then they're supposed to give her the entire ksuba. Let's say ksuba is $200,000. Give her $200,000. But here it's not the case. Here, listen carefully. She's really married. On that point, they're right. She's married, but she's legally married. She's a very Haredi woman, very legally married and kadosh. But they're saying that this married woman already got her ksuba. How much would you pay a married woman for ksuba you claim that you got already? Because really, how much percentage of a ksuba does a married woman have? When do women get the ksuba? As we all know from childhood already, after divorce, after the death of the husband. So how much exactly should they pay a married woman who's now married and hopefully will stay happily married for a long time? How much of the ksuba should they pay her? Says the Braisa, very easy. And not the entire ksuba. She's not supposed to get the ksuba now. She's married, not even thinking of divorce. So they're supposed to give her, Tavasana is a percentage. Tavasana is, Rashi says, Chele Koton, Dover Muat. They say they should give her a small part of her ksuba. What does that mean and how much? Says the Braisa, Ezo Tavasana ksuba. So what does that mean exactly? Oimdin, you should assess, you should evaluate. Kama Adam Shozu. Let's say a person, her neighbor, somebody who wants to buy her ksuba off her while she's married. Is he able to do it? Yes. He's buying a lottery ticket, as I told you many times, as the Rebbe in Cheder told us. Let's say the woman tells him, listen, I'm right now happily married, but you never know. There are chances that he'll die first. Most men die before the husbands, yes, statistically. If I become an almono or an isgarsha, yeah, then how much percentage is that? I don't know, 70% high divorce rate, and also men die before the women. 70% I'm going to get the ksuba, but not 100%. The mesa, however, if I die first, Yoshena Baila. If I die first, then you lose. You're not getting the ksuba. Very good. In other words, if your ksuba is 200,000, I'm not, as you know, I'm not good into numbers, but let's say the ksuba is 200,000. How much are you willing to pay now and give me the cash now? Says the woman, that you're getting my ksuba instead of me. If I get divorced or if I become a widow, you get it and not me. And there's, let's say, 60, 70%, and that's going to happen. I think a good people who work in insurance, they know that, right? The insurance actuary, right? So an actuary, I have a friend who's actually an actuary, they'd be able to work out the 200,000, 60% of getting this within 10, 15, 20 years or so. Yeah, go to an actuary, and then amount of money, the person pay her now. Now, give me cash now for the off chance, or not so off chance, you'll get the ksuba. You think it's funny? Go to the Merkaz Mischari, go wherever you want. There are a lot of lottery ticket stations all over the world, and that's exactly what people do. Why are you wasting 50 shekels? Because there's nice glowing letters, 50,000, 50 million. That's what's going on over here. Oh, so what do you see? You see what? You see that a woman may possibly sell her ksuba. Says the Gemara, now to prove the point of the Konasusha. If you think that if you would have thought that the Korasusha doesn't exist, which maybe seemed the opinion of Rav Yirmiyah before, in other words, if a woman may sell her goof now, the goof of the apartment now, let's just nichsey miloog, who needs ksuba? Amayer shena baila, why do you say that the Baal should be Yorisher, has been ksuba so legamre? She can actually sell the ksuba entirely now. Get what I'm saying? In other words, you should know nichsey miloog is part of a ksuba. Ksuba is not only the money that she gets from the husband. The basis of the ksuba, the Torah for the ksuba, is money she gets in case of divorce or widowhood. That's like security money. But when we talk about nichsey miloog, and soon we'll see other money, they're also brought into the ksuba. The ksuba can get to be a very complicated financial kind of document. So now the Gemara is saying as follows: why are you telling me she's selling off chance? If I get divorced, why? If you think not like the Konas Usha, that a woman may freely sell her property behind her husband's back, under his nose, then she can sell it completely, meaning that even if she dies before the husband, the customer will also get it. Right? Elamai must be, she's limited. She's limited because she cannot sell everything, because Usha limited her selling everything, because why? We don't want the husband to hate her. She can only sell the ksuba, which the husband would anyhow have to pay. The husband doesn't care. She can only sell if I get divorced or I get widow, instead of Chaim Shmerel, my husband, paying me, he'll pay you, the customer. So you see the Choira, she's not completely free to sell everything. So you see the Konas Usha is correct. Amar Abaye, no. It's true there's the Konas Usha, but you can't prove it from there. He says very simply, Im Omru benichsey miloog, Yomru benichsey tzoin barzel, which means, it's not the same. Not the same. The Konas Usha was only written about nichsey miloog. The Konas Usha was about nichsey miloog, which means as follows. There are two types, and I avoided it on purpose because I didn't want to confuse you, but I'm sure you heard it before. That basically, if a woman has a flat, an apartment before marriage, and it's completely hers, now she brings it to the marriage. Chachamim said the husband does have the right to claim, listen, I run the finances here. I am the one who brings the parnasa. If you have an asset, I want this to be brought into the family's asset. And if it's nichsey miloog, everybody knows. A goof, hers, and the pairs are his. But there's another type of property called nichsey tzon barzel. Nichsey tzon barzel, very weird word. It sounds like tzon barzel means iron herd. Yeah, tzon, herd of sheep, and it's made out of iron. What's a strange thing? What does it mean? Tzon barzel means that as follows. As long as they're married, that apartment, if she decides to write, I don't know exactly when to decide what, I actually learned and I forgot. Let's say they decide this apartment will not be tzon nichsey miloog. This apartment you have in Ramah Hay, this apartment will be tzon barzel. What's tzon barzel? Tzon barzel means as follows. Tzon barzel means that as long as they're married, it completely belongs to the husband. Both the goof and the payros. It's not fair, it's her thing. Don't worry about it. Tzon barzel means that it's completely his, but let's say he flunks. Let's say he invested in the wrong thing. Let's say he decided to make this apartment into a very good station for UFO landing on Earth. That's very solid investment, he thinks, no? He read it in the internet. This is going to be, no, you don't think so? No? Okay, so no, I don't know. I think it's nice. Yeah, this is going to be a very nice restaurant for E.T. and his friends. And from some odd reason, it didn't work out. I'm not sure why. And it plummeted in value because he also made it ugly and he half broke it so they can enter from outer space. And surprisingly, he ruined it. Now, in case of divorce or ptira, yeah, you know it's going to be? Let's originally was worth a nice Shana, Bechemish apartment, 3 million shekels. He made it now worth 1 million shekels. If he's nifter, if she gets it back, yeah, he'll have to compensate her. I don't know the nice word in English, shipui. He'll have to make up the difference and pay an extra 2 million. If she brought into the marriage an apartment worth 3 million and he made it worth less, even though it's his, as long as they're married, it's his to play with. In other words, it's like telling the guy, the man, you can have the toy to play as much as you want, but you have to return it to me in good condition. That's basically tzon barzel. Very easy to understand. I gave you a 3 million apartment. Now they're getting divorced. They're fighting about the money. So now the Chachamim saying, if you made it worth 1 million, you have to pay her 2 million extra to make it up to 20. Mashenkin miloog, no. As opposed to miloog. Nichsey miloog, you have to know. Let's say nichsey miloog, as long as they were married, she had to say. Every month she says, no, what's with my apartment? It's true you're cashing in the cash. But first of all, the cash should go to the family. And secondly, you painted it black? No way. I want pink. It will be pink. Because she's the owner of the actual walls of the actual apartment. But, lady, nichsey miloog, if it was 3 million, it became 1 million, she loses. Why? Because she was also the owner. She was also together with him in the roller coaster of the investment. You get me? Again, nichsey miloog means as long as they're married, they're partners. Rabbi Yochanan and Rish Lakish, everyone agrees nobody has exclusivity, right? As long as they're married, nichsey miloog means she has the core, as you call it nicely, and he has the payros. Yeah, but they're partners, one way or another. They got divorced, and she says, I went to the broker, to whoever, to the stock, to the Nadlan guy, and he tells me that instead of 3, it's worth 1. Sorry, lady. It was yours as much as his. You should have also invested and taking care of it. And therefore, now it's worth 1 million. You get 1 million. It was yours as much as his to a point, especially if you're shlakish. But she'en can, if it nichsets on barzel, nichsets on barzel means no. As long as they're married, you stay out of it, lady. Very male chauvinist. As long as it's his apartment, it's his apartment, and she stays quietly on the side. But if that 3 million became 1 million and it was totally in his hands, he has to be, there's a very fancy word in Hebrew, meshapeh, mention pay hey. He has to make up the difference for her to give her another 2 million because it's his toy that he destroyed. Now he has to give it. 1 second, please. I didn't actually begin to translate the answer. Right? Says the Gemara, don't tell me stories from the mice over there of the Edim Zoimimim. You know why the Edim Zoimimim, the Edim Zoimimim is something that she cannot sell completely? I'll tell you why. Could be really, don't prove the Konas Usha. I'm not saying Konas Usha is wrong, but don't prove the Konas Usha from the fact over there that a woman can't sell everything. You know why? Because nichsey miloog is something that I would still say a woman has the right to sell because she has peros. She has peros. But if the Konas Usha wouldn't have existed, makes a lot of sense. Like you kept saying, she's the owner of, the goof. She's the owner of the goof. She can sell the goof. However, Tzon Barzel, of course she cannot sell. We're talking here about a woman who does not have nichsey miloog. She only has Tzon Barzel. Tzon Barzel she cannot sell for sure. Tzon Barzel means as long as they're married, the goof, the payros, and the roof, and the cherry tree in the backyard, and everything belongs to him. Because this Brisa who spoke about Edim Zoimimim spoke about a woman that does not have anything except for Tzon Barzel. Tzon Barzel she cannot sell. What can she sell? Only in case he dies first and she yarshins, she gets it, not yarshins, she gets a ksuba that's Tzon Barzel, or to get divorced, she gets Tzon Barzel that she can give. But Tzon Barzel she cannot completely give, wrapped up in cellophane, completely yours, Mr. Customer. Of course not. So Tzon Barzel, as long as they're married, why is it called Tzon Barzel? Very interesting. Everyone knows the word Barzel is because it's actually something which is a very good security for her. It's ironclad. It's as strong as iron. Why? Because because once he dies first or divorced, then she gets the whole thing back. She put in 3 million, she'll get 3 million. If not, she'll take it from the Orshim, she'll put them in jail, whatever. 1 minute, please. But why is it called son? This is less famous. Why is it called son? Because the son is something that the shepherd looks after very nicely, like Moses, like David, right? A shepherd looks after the son. So to the husband, knowing that if he does not behave nicely and he ruins the apartment, or he rents it out to UFOs or to similar things to UFOs, then he'd have to pay back big time from his own pocket. That's why he's careful about it. He takes care of it like tzon. This is something I only learned about 2-3 years ago, the tzon business. I can see Tzvi is unhappy, and Rak Rega Tevakasha. Okay, you have. Who was first? Go ahead, yes. Omar Abaye. Says Abaye, we don't have time. The line starts with the word Yoimru, which is only all about 8 or so lines from the top of the page. Amar Abaye, Toivus Hano. Line starts with the word Hano. Amar Abaye, Toivus Hano. The term toivasano. What's toivasano? What my rabbi in Cheder told me. In other words, the chances that she will get the ksuba is what she can sell now, and that she can do. That she can do because even with all the restrictions, of course, some money will come to her if the husband gets divorced, if they get divorced, or if he dies first. She may sell it now. Since it came to our hands, since we started discussing it, name of a milsa, let's discuss it more. That thing which was tangential, let's go into it now. Toivasano, la isha havya. That toivasano, yeah, the isha that sells the ksuba goes to the woman completely. What the chish goes to the woman? Let's say a woman sells the ksuba worth 200,000 and she gets, I don't know, 100,000. I'm not an actuary yet. She gets 100,000. Who keeps the 100,000? Usually, mashakonsa isha konabayla. If a woman gets a salary, a woman finds a diamond ring in the street. If the husband is a normal husband, not normal, whatever, husband who supports her, then she has to give everything to the husband. Here, the toivasano goes completely to the wife. We don't say that it goes to the husband, and we don't even say that you buy with it an apartment, which will be miloog. This is a kind of money that goes 100% exclusively only to the wife. Why? If you think that the toivasano goes to the husband, lemur la edim, then the edim zomemim. Remember the edim zomemim? They said about a married woman that she got the ksuba. Now they have to pay her that 70%. That cash she could have made now. If it would have gone to the husband, not to the wife, lemur la edim ma'if sadinach. But what? Which loss did we cause you? Why do we have to pay you? The toivasano, even if he would have sold it at 70%, any other husband would have taken it. Right? In other words, yeah, you get what I'm saying? That really, what's the difference? If really the toivasano, she's selling your ksuba now because she needs the cash now. If that cash would have gone to the husband, the edim zomimim can say, we didn't cause you any loss. Because anyhow would have gone to the husband, none of your business. And we do say it goes to the husband. If it goes to the husband, you go to the wife. So you see that really, if she really sells it, and there are no edim zomimim involved, she gets all the cash. Amar Rav Shalman. Rav Shalman says no. Rav Shalman says no. That's not true what you're saying. She can say that's not true what you guys are saying. Let's say husbands are normal and nice and supportive, not like all these abusive stories that we hear all the time. A husband that gets a toivasano, let's say she would have given a toivasano to the husband. A husband is now much richer. Does the woman prefer to be married to a poor guy or to a rich guy? Rich guy. Revach beisa. The household, the bais, is richer. He's more meruvach, more, as you say in nice English, comfortable. Yeah. In other words, she can tell the edim zomimim, no, it's not true. Even if you tell me that my husband would have gotten the money and not me, I, the woman, want to have a richer husband if I was a rich man. So the woman is also marviach. She can taina. No, really, it's not a proof from the edim zomimim. The edim zomimim pay her because she would have been married to a richer guy and should be able to buy her 10th sheitel, not just 9. Omarove, yeah, I'm not mentioning names of places. Omarove, hilchasa, ma aloche, aloche, all the feminists can be quiet now. Hilchasa toivasano leisha ve'ena ba'al ochel peiros. Although we had our doubts, lemaisa, it toivasano money, if the woman sells her what? Her ksuba now, for the off chance that will materialize, a good Shana lottery ticket. Who gets it? Only hers, and he doesn't even get the Paris. It's completely, exclusively only hers. Somebody asks you why in Judaism women cannot own money. There are many cases that can own money. That's one of them. My time. Well, what's the reason? Why is it that we don't say it goes to the husband as we usually do? Answers the Gemara. Peira takino le'rabonon. Peira de peira lo takino le'rabonon. Which means, Rabbanon, again, Rabbanon, and this is something beautiful in the Gemara in Ksubas Daf Mem Zayin, I think. All these things the woman gives her husband, you should know, are only in return of things he gives her. I told him once, kaf, kaf, pay, pay, mem, mem. He gives her mezonas, chiv d'oraisa. He supports her. That's very hard to support the wife and children. She has to give him her smaller salary, mem, mem. Pay, pay. If she gets chas v'shalom, not trapped, no, very, very basic word. she gets captured. She becomes a captive. She kidnapped or captive. She flew to Ukraine the wrong time, and the Russians captured. The Russians took her captive. Yeah, shvuya. So now Pidyon Shvuim doesn't go to Beis Din. It's his. He has to pay, I don't know, 1,000,000 ruble. That's not worth much now. Yeah, not worth much. He has to pay $1 million to free her, to basically liberate her. So because of that, and that was very common in the olden days, and today in Mexico. So now, because of that, he gets the payros. Because he's the one supposed to save money in case she gets kidnapped, yeah, payros is given for that. They said if she has a flat, an apartment, he gets the payros every month because he also has to save in case of kidnapping. Payros tachas pidyoino. Now, so says the Gemara here, payros or metaken. If she has an apartment, which is really, really hers right now, brick and mortar, and every month there's 5,000 shekels coming in, he gets that. But the case of her selling the off chance of getting the ksuba, that is the payros of the payros. Why? She didn't, it's all castles in the air. She has cash now. That cash is not fruit, it's the fruit of the fruit, right? Because she may get money after the pira, right? And then she may have given it to other people. They give her the cash now. It's a more indirect kind of gain. The indirect profit remains hers. That chachomim were not metakin to go to the husband, and he's no Ava. The husband understands that's like a cherry on top of the whole cake. Such a thing of the off chance, that money that she gets is something that remains hers completely. Yoser of Papa. Okay, no, I think it's time to stop. 10:25. Okay. Shkoyach Godel, may I please bench me? I'll be able to do everything I have to do today. Because it's a very busy day. Thank you very much. Including connecting the two videos. Thank you very much. Amazing. And tomorrow I'm not here. Tomorrow I am not here. No shiur tomorrow. Thank you. Goodbye.